And why this podcast? Well, my manager, Tony, noticed that I was posting in my Instagram stories and just, maybe 50 to like 800 people would see it, just depending on the day. And depending on if I posted a Cardi B impression or not. That determines how many views I get in my stories. But yeah, he was like, "Hey, you should just have a podcast where you talk about everything in your stories and only reserve your stories for like comedy show announcements and whatever else. Sign up for my email list, that sort of thing, which you can sign up for on aprilwalterscheid.com. Today's episode is brought to you by, I don't have a sponsor, so just want to put that in there because I feel like I need to say that. It's brought to you by bobby pins. I'm using them to keep my bangs down. Thank you, Bobby Pins, for sponsoring this podcast, and you don't even know it. I think it's like me saying this podcast is sponsored by paper clips. I just said a product. I'm just like, hey, this podcast is sponsored by walls that hold up your apartment. Thank you, walls. This podcast is brought to you by boundaries. Do you have them? We'll get some with boundaries. Healthy boundaries, not made up ones that are stupid. But like, let me give you an example of a stupid boundary really quick. I read this online. I made it a joke of mine, but I read it online that there was a girl who had like, I may have mentioned this on the podcast. Okay, a girl has a dog and she's on a dating app and she has photos of herself with her dog on the dating app. And there's a guy that wanted her to give up her dog for him. He just said hi to her. They have never met. He's just on the dating app, like, hi, well, let's get together sometime. And she said yes. And then she wasn't able to, like, that week. And he's like, "Ugh, you have a dog that you've known for 10 years? Well, that breaks my boundaries. You are upsetting my boundaries." So that's an example of a stupid boundary. Don't do that. Don't do that. I'm conflicted also on having boundaries. It seems like having boundaries makes you less popular. I know that this whole podcast is sponsored by boundaries, healthy boundaries, but